This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Soybean Update.
This is the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Doug Bounds, Kansas State Statistician for USDA's National Ag Statistics Service, is joining us. And Doug, several reports have come out here just recently, and that includes the latest as far as crop progress and fall harvest is concerned for Kansas soybeans. What have we seen recently on how far we've progressed harvest-wise?
The Kansas Crop Progress and Condition Report for the week ending October 15 showed that the soybean condition rated 5% very poor, 14% poor, 37% fair, 39% good, and 5% excellent. Also showed that soybeans dropping leaves was 93%. That's ahead of 86% last year and 87% for the 5-year average. Soybean harvest was 34% complete, and that's ahead of 25% this time last year and near the 5-year average of 36%.
And as we're about a third of the way through the harvest, one thing to look at is potentially we could be harvesting a record soybean crop here in the state of Kansas, according to the latest crop production numbers.
That is correct. Kansas crop production report that was released on October 12th showed soybean production based on October 1st conditions to be forecasted a record 209 million bushels, up 9% from last year's production. Kansas farmers expect to harvest 5.1 million acres of soybeans this year, and that's 27% higher than last year. The yield that's forecasted for 2017 in Kansas is 41 bushels per acre, and that's just down 7 bushels from last year's yield.
And late in September, we also had an additional report came out. How are we looking as far as our grain stocks are concerned?
September 29th, NASA released the Kansas Grain Stocks Report showing grain stocks as of September 1st. And on that date, we had 11.1 million bushels of old crop soybeans still stored in all positions in Kansas. That's 108% higher than it was a year ago. Of that total, 1.6 million bushels were stored on farm. That's up 116% from a year ago. And 9.52 million bushels were stored off farm, which was up 107% from 2016.
All right, Doug, we appreciate you updating us on those numbers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg.
That is Doug Bounds, Kansas State Statistician for USDA's National Agricultural Statistics Service, as he joins us on the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Learn more at kansassoybeans.org. For Kansas Soybeans, I'm Greg Akagi.
Hope you enjoyed this week's Kansas Soybean Update. Stay with us after the break for more with Dwayne and Dr. Jim Nelson talking swine production in Kansas.
What does a brighter, more sustainable future look like in our cities and towns, and how do we get there? When New York needed an alternative fuel source to reduce carbon emissions, the city found what it needed in biodiesel made from U.S. soybean oil.
All over the country, more and more communities are making the change to biodiesel made from U.S. soybean oil. And the decision continues improving the health and welfare for millions of Americans while adding billions to our national economy.